everyone, and welcome to English for You. I'm Erin.
And I'm Chickling.
And today I want to talk to you a little bit briefly, Chickling, about your favorite Disney movies.
My favorite Disney movies, definitely The Little Mermaid.
Okay. All right, so why is The Little Mermaid your favorite Disney movie?
Because The Little Mermaid, she's always so optimistic. We rarely see her without a smile on her face.
It's true. Okay.
Her father stops her from growing up, but she's always
she's
like,
a
happy.
Strong woman who, finds a way to do what she wants.
Yes.
All right. Well, of course, lots of Disney movies are being remade this year, like The Lion King and Aladdin. But there's also been news in the past few months that The Little Mermaid is also going to be remade. Now, I think a good way to celebrate the remaking of The Little Mermaid is to talk a little bit about mermaids.
Oh, yay.
All right, so let's find out a little bit about mermaids and the legends that led us to believe that they exist.
Reading.
Mermaid legends and manatee facts. For centuries, many cultures have told stories of strange sea creatures. One of these is a half-fish, half-human female creature called a mermaid. The first mermaid legend may have started around 1000 BC. It was about an Assyrian goddess whose legs became a fishtail when she jumped into a lake. Similar creatures called sirens were mentioned in Homer's Odyssey, an ancient Greek tale from the 8th century BC. They attracted sailors to their deaths with their beautiful voices. You'll find mermaid legends in African and Caribbean cultures in the form of water spirits as well. People still enjoy mermaid stories to this day. One of the best loved is The Little Mermaid, written by Hans Christian Andersen in 1837. In it, a mermaid trades her voice to become a human because she's in love with a prince. It's common for mermaids in legends to take on a human form and tie the knot with mortal men.
All right, our article starts out with the sentence, "For centuries, many cultures have told stories of strange sea creatures." All right, now a creature is any living thing that's not a plant. So any animal, any insect, or a snake, or a human could be considered a creature. Now, sometimes we also use the word creature to talk about imaginary beings too, like mermaids, fairies, the abominable snowman. All right, so all of those kind of fairy tale creatures, those are creatures too. Here's an example. Tanya loves this fairy tale book. It's full of strange creatures and cool magic.
所以 creature 就是动物、生物的意思，是一个名词哦。那我们来看下面几个句子。Humans are the only living creatures that make use of fire. 我们人类也算是 creature 的一种嘛。那我们常常会说 creature comfort， 就是这个词就是物质享受的意思。For instance, he had a hard time abandoning his creature comforts to go camping. 好，所以几个世纪以来，许多文化都有讲到了奇特海洋生物的故事。
It's hard to give up your bed and air conditioning.
That is true.
All right, well, let's find out about one of the sea creatures that we're talking about today, and that is one of these is a half-fish, half-human female creature called a mermaid. Now, a merman would be a male mermaid.
Yeah, 所以 a mermaid 就是美人鱼的意思。那它就是上面就是美人鱼，大家应该都知道吧？And some people might have seen it before. I haven't. I really want to see it.
I don't think you're ever going to see a mermaid. Unfortunately, I don't think mermaids or mermen are real, but We can dream.
Yeah,
right?
we can dream about it, maybe.
All right, well, let's find out about these legends that started about mermaids. It says the first mermaid legend may have started around 1000 BC. So maybe about 3,000 years ago? Yeah.
And we see the word legend. Legend here stands for an old story from ancient times, or the stories that people tell about a famous event or person, which are not always true.
Not always true.
就是传说、民间故事的意思。那这边的 BC 就是 before Christ， 就是在中文的意思就是公元前的意思。
Okay, so about 3,000 years ago, there was probably a story about a legend about a mermaid. Now, let's find out more about it. It says it was about an Assyrian goddess whose legs became a fishtail when she jumped into a lake.
OK， 所以我们看到第一个美人鱼的传说是亚述女神，她跳入湖中的时候，她的腿就变成了鱼的尾巴。That sounds interesting.
It does sound interesting, actually. I'd like to hear that story. All right, well, let's go a bit forward in time here. It says similar creatures called sirens were mentioned in Homer's Odyssey, an ancient Greek tale from the 8th century BC. And we have a lot to talk about there. So we are going to start with an easy one, the adjective similar. All right, the adjective similar was used in that sentence, and we use it to describe things that are almost the same as each other. So if two people are wearing black shirts, and one shirt has short sleeves, but the other has long sleeves, we could say they are similar. They're almost the same, but just one thing is a little bit different. Here is another example. Our coats are very similar. We should be careful not to wear the wrong ones home.
所以 similar 就是相似的、类似的意思，是形容词哦。那我们来看下面一个句子。The two brothers are so similar that it's quite hard to tell one from the other. 他们两个太像了，认不出来。And the noun form is similarity 是名词哦。那我们再看另外一个名词造的句子。There are many similarities between men and women. However, there still remain many differences.
Of course.
所以后面我们还有出现 siren 这一个字，它就是希腊神话中的海妖。那课文后面会再解释它们到底是什么样可怕的怪物。We will talk about it. Sirens, what a siren is.
A siren. Well, we're going to get into that a little bit more, but basically they're fictional creatures, right? And they do something not very good. All right, but let's first talk about the verb mention. Now, when you mention something, you talk about that thing with somebody, or you could write about that thing. Now, often when we mention something, we don't give a lot of details about it. We just kind of mention it, say it once to bring it up so that other people know about it too, and then maybe later on you'll get more details. Here's an example. Did you mention something about your new English class a few minutes ago? I didn't hear what you said.
所以 mention 就是提起的意思，可以当动词，也可以当名词。那在我们文章里面呢，是当动词，所以他就有讲到说，相似美人鱼的生物就在荷马的史诗《奥德赛》里面有被提到过。好，那我们用 mention 再造两个句子。My boyfriend mentioned seeing you the other day. 这边就是当动词哦。那下面我们用名词造一个。Even the mention of his name could make her blush. And we also say not to mention when we want to emphasize something that we are adding to a list. 就是更不用说的意思。For instance, Jasper can play the piano, not to mention the guitar. That means he can play both.
That's right. All right, so we also saw the adjective ancient in that sentence. So we said that sirens were mentioned in an ancient Greek book, okay? So ancient here is used to describe things that are very, very old. Thousands of years old usually, but depending on the context, maybe just hundreds of years old. Here's an example. I've always wanted to see the ancient pyramids in Egypt.
所以 ancient 就是古老的、年代久远的意思。我们口语上也可以说一个东西很旧。所以史诗《奥德赛》啊，它是公元前8世纪的古希腊故事哦。那我们继续往下看另外一个句子。 He's got an ancient laptop, but he's not planning to get a new one. 这就是比较口语的用法。
Kind of a sarcastic use of ancient there. All right, well, what did these sirens do? Why are we mentioning them? It says they attracted sailors to their deaths with their beautiful voices. So this kind of form of sea creature or mermaid called a siren, not doing very nice things. Let's find out what we mean by the verb attract here. All right, we are looking at the verb attract. Now, when one thing attracts another thing, it does something to make the other thing interested in it or want to have something from it. So for instance here, we're saying that the sirens attract the sailors with their voices. They're using their voices to make the sailors come closer to them. They are bringing them towards them. The sailors hear the beautiful voices and they say, oh, I want to go see what that is. So they get closer and closer. But unfortunately, when they do get to the sirens, they die. Here's an example. I think you'll attract more customers with a cute logo and a big sign. So if you want more customers to come to your store, do these things.
所以 attract 就是动词哦，它是吸引的意思。所以如果要说受到某个东西或某个人的吸引，我们就可以说 be attracted to someone or something. For instance, I am so attracted to her beautiful singing voice.
Be careful, she's a siren.
哦，那名词形式呢就是 attraction。我们就可以说啊 ，the opportunity to go abroad is the main attraction of this job。所以说这些海妖呢，前面提到的 siren 会用歌声吸引水手们把船开到很危险的水里，导致他们的死亡。
Okay, well, do you know what's actually really interesting is we actually use the word siren regularly in the English language.
Yeah.
It has some interesting uses in English, and it all kind of comes back to these sirens. So when you hear an ambulance or a police car or a fire truck, you hear that woo, woo. We call those sirens. That's like
Jingling.
Like a voice that gets closer and closer to you. We also call a very attractive woman a siren. We still use that today. But let's find out more about different kinds of mermaids. Okay, so we've talked about sirens, we've talked about the Assyrian goddess. Now it says you'll find mermaid legends in African and Caribbean cultures in the form of water spirits as well. Now, as well is a nice and simple phrase in that sentence. It just is, it's used in the way as saying also or to, T-O-O. Here is an example sentence. Kendall is coming over for dinner. Do you think Mary will want to come as well? Do you think she will want to come too?
所以 as well 就是也的意思。那么课文当中就是说，你可以在非洲或加勒比文化里面找到美人鱼的传说。
Okay, so we've got lots of different cultures with mermaid stories, and of course, these stories weren't just popular back then.
Yeah.
We still watch The Little Mermaid, right? So it says here, people still enjoy mermaid stories to this day. Now, what do we mean by the phrase to this day? We use this phrase to show that something is still true now, even though it's already been true for a very long time. So, of course, Assyrian stories have been around for thousands of years, but mermaid stories are still popular 3,000 years later. Here's another example. Tristan and I have been friends for 20 years, but to this day, I can't remember how we met.
It's been too long. 所以 to this day 就是至今的意思。我们可以再造一个句子哦。To this day, I still have no idea who broke my computer. 我到现在还不知道谁把我的电脑用坏。所以课文中就是说，一直到现在，大家还是非常喜欢听美人鱼的故事。
Okay, well, of course, one of the best loved, that's stories or legends, is The Little Mermaid, written by Hans Christian Andersen in 1837.
好，那我们来看一下我们今天的文法。 叫做复合形容词。那分词就是代表说呢，分词可以和名词、副词或者是形容词结合。那我们会用连字号去连接，就会变成复合形容词。那连字号后面接的动词呢，原意如果是主动，那我们就是要用现在分词哦。如果是被动，就会变过去分词。那我们来看几个例子，例如说名词加现在分词或过去分词，我们就可以说 record-breaking 破纪录的 ，or man-made 人造的 ，heart-shaped 心形的。or chicken-hearted 很胆怯的。那如果是形容词或副词加上现在分词跟过去分词，我们就可以看下面几个例子。slow-moving 行动很缓慢的，在这边 slow 是当副词用，要记得哦。那下面 best-loved 最受欢迎的 good-looking 好看的。absent-minded 心不在焉的 or old-fashioned 很过时的。所以最受欢迎的美人鱼故事之一呢，就是安徒生在1837年时候写的《The Little Mermaid》。
All right, now for those of you out there who maybe don't know the story of The Little Mermaid, it says, in it, a mermaid trades her voice to become a human because she is in love with a prince. Now, what do we do when we trade? Well, when we trade something, you give it to someone else and they give you something different in return. Now, the Little Mermaid gives a witch her voice so that she can have a human body. She gets one thing from the witch by giving away something of her own to the witch. Here's another example. Yuck! I hate ham sandwiches. Do you want to trade lunches with me?
Yes.
Okay.
所以 trade 就是交换交易的意思。那么常见的用法就是 trade something for something， 用什么东西交换到什么。我们来看一下例句哦。The rich man traded one of his expensive cars for a famous painting. 那 trade something with someone 与某人交换，也就是 Aaron 老师例句里面的用法。所以这个故事就是在讲小美人鱼拿她的声音来交换变成了人类，因为她爱上了一个人类王子。
All right, well, it says here it's common for mermaids and legends to take on a human form and tie the knot with mortal men. All right, a few things we need to talk about here. Take something on. When you take on a certain look or a certain quality, you start to show that look or quality for other people to see. Here's an example. Nigella's face took on an angry look when her sister told a mean joke about her. See this face taking on an angry look?
所以 take on 在这边就是呈现的意思。那我们常常都可以在美人鱼的故事里面看到美人鱼变成了人类嘛。那么有看到 mortal 这一个字，它就是人、凡人的意思。
Okay, well, we have one more thing to talk about that. In that sentence, it said mermaids often take a human form to tie the knot with mortal men. Now, what does tie the knot mean? This is today's pocket phrase go, so we're going to finish today's article by finding out more about it, and then we'll come right back for our For You chat.
Pocket phrase go!
安娜贝尔虽然呢是个可爱的洋娃娃，但不知为何呢，总是在寻找玩伴的路上。我的玩伴呢，不是受伤就是住院，很快就都搬走了。最近啊，我遇到了一个女孩 ，She has been dating her boyfriend for a while。她呢已经跟她的男朋友交往一段时间了。They are planning to tie the knot in a few months. 再过几个月呢，计划就要结婚了。虽然呢，我也很想看到她穿白纱的模样，但为了彼此的好，我还是忍痛离开她吧。Tie the knot 打个结哦，就是呢我们中文说的共结连理，要结婚啦，也就是把两个人的命运给绑在一块啦。Tie the knot 结婚，希望呢你也记起来咯。
For You chat.
Welcome back, everyone. So our For You chat question for today is, what other sea creatures have you heard of in legends?
Okay, well, of course, there's there's the mermen, not just mermaids. We see mermen in The Little Mermaid too, in the Disney movie at least. I can't remember if it's
He's
in the
pretty
book.
attractive.
All right, well, there's also a bit more of a scarier one called the Kraken.
Kraken? Okay.
Yeah, no, that one's probably one you don't want to come across if you're on a fishing boat in international waters. It might take over your ship and bring you down into the deeps. Now, I remember in the Pirates of the Caribbean, that movie, there was a sea creature where they had to get the treasure from it. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was the Davies treasure or something like that.
Okay.
Well, I'm losing my memory here, but we can look it up. You guys can go watch that movie again and find out what it is. But what about you?
Have you heard of hydrants?
I have.
Yeah, hydrants.
Hydras, I think.
Hydras, yeah. Hydra.
Yes.
Yeah, hydras. They're from Greece. They've got multiple heads.
Oh.
And I heard that if you cut off one of its head, it's going to grow out two in its place.
Ooh, interesting. There's also Poseidon, who is the Greek god of the water.
Yeah.
Okay. So lots of different sea creatures out there. Lots of different cultures have sea creatures too, but maybe you guys can go look up some of those and learn about them. That would be fun. You guys can talk about them with your friends. But we are finished for today, so we'll come back tomorrow and talk more about the legends of mermaids.
Mermaid legends and manatee facts. For centuries, many cultures have told stories of strange sea creatures. One of these is a half-fish, half-human female creature called a mermaid. The first mermaid legend may have started around 1000 BC. It was about an Assyrian goddess whose legs became a fishtail when she jumped into a lake. Similar creatures called sirens were mentioned in Homer's Odyssey, an ancient Greek tale from the 8th century BC. They attracted sailors to their deaths with their beautiful voices. You'll find mermaid legends in African and Caribbean cultures in the form of water spirits as well. People still enjoy mermaid stories to this day. One of the best loved is The Little Mermaid, written by Hans Christian Andersen in 1837. In it, a mermaid trades her voice to become a human because she's in love with a prince. It's common for mermaids in legends to take on a human form and tie the knot with mortal men.
Vocabulary Review.
Creature. The forest is full of all kinds of creatures, like deer, rabbits, and squirrels. Similar. Everyone thought Pete and Johnny were brothers because they looked similar. Mention. I asked about Bob, and Susie mentioned that he was on vacation in France. Ancient. People in ancient Egypt kept detailed records of daily life of both kings and slaves. Attract. This company attracts a lot of employees because of its good pay. Trade. I traded my orange for Lucy's apple at lunch today.
智慧小补帖
Legend. Siren. Mortal.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000。 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net